There we go.
All right, shall we say the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Thank everybody for being here tonight. Small crowd, but big agenda. So let's get to it. To start out with, we, as of January, we have to appoint and/or re-elect officers. Don't know what anybody's thoughts are, if they want to stay the same, or if we want to go through these individually.
I think those doing their jobs are doing well.
I
say leave them alone.
Make a motion that everybody stays in their current positions.
Support.
We have a motion of support for current officers to remain in their positions. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Congratulations to all of us. Moving on to tonight's agenda, we need to amend and/or accept tonight's agenda. We do have to add one more letter, believe it or not. Letter R to approve Hamburg fencing.
A motion, we accept the agenda.
Support.
Motion of support to accept tonight's agenda. Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Public comment. Seeing none, I guess we won't have any of that tonight, so we're gonna move on to routine matters. First item is to approve the minutes from both December meetings, our regular meeting and our special one on December 27th.
So moved.
Support. Motion and support for minutes of both meetings in December. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Consider general fund invoices for payment. Matt?
I would like to make a motion to pay from the general fund check 76565 through 76756 for $294,365.35, and from food services checks 74817 through 76759 for $47,398.10.
Support.
Okay, we have motion support for our invoices for payment. Any questions or comments?
I had a question on a couple. The refund of property taxes to Mazaki County totaled about $13,000. Was that a result of the valuation appeal on Ellen's?
I believe.
I know they were appealing that to their tribunal. I wondered if that.
Usually in the description we put the.
Well, I think it was like a D&L management or something. I think that's probably.
I guess
I'm pretty sure that's Ellen's. And I know they were appealing their assessment. So I just wondered if that was tied to that, and if there's more gonna have to happen, or don't you know?
I'm not sure. I'd have to find out on that if there'll be any more.
Okay.
Whatever the difference is that we've had to pay and then the state will pay back through state aid.
Okay.
So.
I just wonder, because there was 2 checks for about the same amount. I just wonder if that covered 2 different years, or.
I believe it was 2 different years.
And whether there's more years they're disputing, I wondered.
I think the sawmill and.
What's that?
The sawmill and Hydro Lake also disputed it.
Are they? These were both the same company, and I'm pretty sure that that's, it's D&L management or something. I'm pretty sure that that's,
I'll try to find it on here so that I
yeah,
can
D&L
see.
management.
Because I know that I
Yeah.
double checked to make sure that it was 2 different requests and 2 different years, but I don't know what page it's on here. There's one. Now, oh, it doesn't tell me enough here that I can read.
It was pretty close to the same amount, each of the
Yeah,
payments.
each of them were 6 something,
Yeah.
so, yeah. But I'd have to find out for sure to let you know if D&L management is the same as Ellen's.
Yeah, pretty sure it is.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, and they probably own the land, so,
Yeah.
okay.
But it
So-
will be offset by state aid. It just takes a while for that process to happen, but
So with this appeal, I mean, is there any chance that how's that gonna affect our debt retirement? And, I mean, I don't know the extent of it.
I don't either.
Yeah, I just wonder if that's gonna affect our levy at all. or-
Potentially could.
It could, yeah.
I'll see what I can find out on it, maybe some more information.
Good. All right, we have motion and support. Any more questions on our invoices? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, reports and communications for myself. I'm just gonna read a little thank you note here that Scott got here recently from Everett Schools. Dear McBain Board of Education, on behalf of the families that have been affected by all of our struggles here in Everett, we'd like to thank you for all your support. Your community's generosity is extremely appreciated. High school principal. So, other than that, that's all I got. Mr. Reagan.
Yeah, I'm gonna be speaking probably a lot later when we get down to the agenda items there. I don't have anything to update on my board report unless someone has a question.
Okay. Liz?
I really do not have a lot either, other than, this time of year that we're ending the calendar year of 2023, so doing W-2s and 1099s and the forms that we have to do for the Affordable Care Act. And of course, there's always another report that's due, so I'll be working on the excess cost report. That's a report that we do to report mostly special education expenditures. And yeah, that's
Okay.
it.
Yeah, I have a question about that. There's a $15,000 transfer. It says arbiter. What is that? What is that?
That is to pay the refs for the sporting events this year.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, we did a contract with.
I see, okay.
So it's deposited electronically, we deposit money
Oh,
to
okay.
them and then they
Okay.
disperse it.
Okay.
I think every school, the state of Michigan seems to be doing that now.
Mhm.
Yeah, and it has moved over. to
Rather
that.
than pay them individually from, okay.
Yeah, and they can be paid right away with the refs like that, so sometimes it's a little easier to get refs to come to work for you if they
Mhm.
are paid through ref pay. And so you'll see that probably 2 or 3 times throughout the year.
I see, okay.
Where we'll fund that,
Mhm.
probably $15,000 each time.
Mhm.
That we initially did at the beginning of the school year, and then we just had to do it again, so we'll probably have to do it
Mhm.
one more time.
Couple other just questions. So we'll receive the first of our sinking fund money now in February, maybe?
Of your sinking fund?
Of the sinking fund money, that would be,
That'll start coming in this month, in January.
yeah.
Yeah,
And the county will settle that? Do they settle that as unpaid?
yes, they
Oh,
will settle
okay.
that at the end of March.
A little bit later.
April.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
next month on the board report, you'll see that we'll have
Okay.
some tax revenue
good.
coming in.
The other question I had regarding the food service fund, at one time we were carrying excess money there. Are we at the level where we're under that? Or we were way far out, we couldn't be
Right.
surpass a certain days or whatever, I don't know what it was, but
The excess fund balance.
are
yeah.
we down
Yeah.
to an acceptable level now? Or?
I think we are going to be.
Okay.
We may have, I don't think it'll be as much as it was as last year, but
Okay,
we did all of that work that was
Yeah.
done down there. And that was
Okay.
all done out of this year's dollars, because we had to carry it over
Okay, all right,
this
good.
year, so, yeah.
Thanks.
Pretty much every school in the state, again, had that in their
Okay.
audit again this year, so things are starting to get maybe a little back to normal.
Good, thanks.
You're welcome.
All right. Thanks, Liz. Principals, Mr. Wisner.
I apologize for my tardiness. I have some sick kiddos at home and a daughter who had to go to dance, so we divided and conquered, and I had to go to Catholic and back. So, for the elementary, come back from break, we are assessing this week to see where our kids are. We'll start NWEA. I don't think anyone did it today because it was a Monday, so I have some classes starting that tomorrow to see where we are with reading and math. We did start doing DIBELS today, which is looking at kids' reading skills, oral reading fluency, decoding words, that kind of thing, phonics type stuff. And Jen Gilby and I did some fourth graders and fifth graders, and so far it's looking pretty good. I'm pretty pleased with the growth in our upper grades, and we'll hopefully get everybody done by the end of the week. It's a pretty quick one. And then by the end of the month, we'll have all of our assessments done, and we'll do day-to-days with the grade level teams again to look at their data to see overall grade level, how are we looking, what are some areas that we need to focus in on for the next part of the year as we lead up to state testing. But then we'll also look, each teacher was tasked with identifying about 3 to 5 students in their class to intervene with and progress monitor. So we'll look specifically at those students and did those in-class interventions work? Are those students showing growth? And if not, what do we do about that? And do those kids need something different? Do they need a different group? Do they need a different resource? Beyond that, Heroes started up again, so we've done that a little bit before break, but the high schoolers came down on Friday and met up with their buddies. That's been going really well. I put in my report, our attendance rates look really good as we focus on attendance this year. And then the school scores came out on my school data, and we showed growth overall from 21-22 to 22-23. So really pleased with that as well.
Okay. Any questions for David? Thank you. Troy?
And just like David was sharing, it is NWEA season, so we are in the thick of testing again. We started out today with a couple of our teachers jumping into it. So we're excited to see the growth that we have. Day-to-days will be scheduled once we get all of our testing completed and makeup testing done, so we can see where our growth is. We're excited to share that we are a reward school in the eyes of the state again, so 2 years in a row, based on our 22-23 data and progress there, so that's pretty awesome. And my take on it, since this is the last year they're giving those statuses out, if you end on it, you gotta keep it forever until they give you a different label, so we're just gonna hold for that. Our growth, our index scores, you guys were shared with those, 21, 22, an overall index score of 83.3, which is a pretty good score there, but we're really excited to see that jump up over 10 points to a 93.98%. Our growth, we're very proud with the growth that the students are showing with our state testing, and I think that our focus on attendance, starting it up last year, really helped boost us as well as we were going into that. We were able to see from December of last year to December this year, we were almost 2% increase in average daily attendance. So a lot of our initiatives are working, and it's really starting to show, and it's definitely helping the culture of our building as we go forward. So as we continue as a staff into January, we're going to work on finishing up our school climate data and analyzing that to see where we can make improvements through PBIS, and also continue working on our curriculum alignment and working on our vertical alignment to make sure we're covering all the standards effectively as we go.
All right, very good. Any questions for Mr. Finstrom? All right, thank you. I guess I can speak for our interim high school principal. Becky is at the ball game tonight, so we give her the permission to be absent tonight.
Any questions on her update?
Yeah, she had an
No,
update.
I just have a general question. The MI school data, is there a bird's eye view of what that is exactly? I mean, and for the most part, it looks like there was great improvements, but not so at the high school. And there was significant drops at the high school, so I'm just kind of curious,
Yeah, so,
I mean, what is that more than a bird's eye view?
yeah, so one thing I want to point out with the school index is it's confusing. We don't even understand it. They adjust it per school. They compare us to other like districts,
Okay.
but the middle school is compared to other schools, then the high school, the elementary school is compared to, it's just kind of really confusing. They mold it to
Okay.
ourselves. And yes, the scores did go down for the overall score for the high school. Went from a 91 to a 79.45. But if you look at the quality and success, this is where I get confused, okay? If you look at the rating of quality and success, last year, 21-22, was 78.55. The quality and success this year, or 22-23 scores, was 96.93. Which to me, that's a great score to be close, to be at 96, right? Is your quality and success of your school. Our proficiency rate dropped. That could be due to a number of things. But that's the one thing that I kind of really look at for the high school is the quality and success, because that talks about the programs that you offer as far as dual enrollment, AP courses, different things like that.
And each of those things is weighted differently. So like your growth and your proficiency are weighted more than your other ones. So like you don't get an average for the numbers that you see. The overall is not an average. It's like quality and success is like 5% or something.
Oh,
The growth is like 10% of your overall score or something like that. So that's where it comes into play too.
You know, the elementary gets dinged because we don't have a librarian. Because we don't have a certified librarian. I mean, so there's just a bunch of different factors.
Yeah.
It's good data to have, but to be honest with you, we don't dig much into it. We dig into more of our personal data or our local data and our NWA data.
Makes sense.
More so, yeah.
Okay.
Good questions though, because we have discussions, I don't want to say arguments, but discussions at our principals meetings about the data and what it means, so.
Okay, moving on to committee reports. Since our last meeting, we did have an executive committee meet. Kind of a short one, but still important. And basically, we talked about the bids that we talked about in our previous meeting, and just wanted to reconfirm with everybody that, or the committee, that that's what we want to do. So that's, I think.
That was the only committee that met?
Yeah, that was all, that was. Moving on to MASB, any updates, Ken?
Well, not a lot. We had talked that weekend in February is coming up. I did research into, because there was some interest in maybe doing a gathering here at the school and that, for whatever reason, did not work out. They didn't buy into that. I don't understand why. They wanted to be more of an individual thing. So I think you've all received in the mail or email the opportunities that are available that weekend. So it's kind of on your own. I could not pull together a consolidated effort. I want to try to find out why they don't support that, but it didn't work out. So, but I would encourage anybody. In my mind, there's 4 basic ones that I would really encourage everybody to do. One is called it's like an orientation for new school board members. That's a longer one. That's like 7 hours long. There's a basic school finance, basic school law, and Open Meetings Act. In my mind, those are 4 that I think really everybody should focus on. But I wasn't able to pull together the group thing, so you're kind of all on your own.
Okay.
If you don't have the information, let me know. But everybody should have gotten a mailer in the mail, and it's online, so nothing else for now.
Okay, thanks, Ken. Discussion items. Most of these are repetitive again. LEA plan use of funds. We are using our money where we're supposed to, correct?
That is correct, yes. Those are our ESSER dollars though that we have not strayed from our plan.
31 AA mental health.
Yep, using that towards mental health for students and staff. This is monies that will
The board will decide on if we want to do the expansion of the weight room. Also, with the change in the 23-24 budget, we can use it and are using it towards security and mental health as well.
Okay. Return to in-person instruction, continuity of learning.
We're planning on being in person. This week included, no snow days, so.
Okay.
But yes, we're planning on being in person.
Okay. Discussion item D, Neola first reading special update, PERA, November 2023, PO 0122, PO 1420, PO 3120, PO 3131, PO 3139, PO 3142, and PO 3220. Any discussion? If not, we're gonna move on to our list of action items. Action item A is to approve the senior trip for 2024. I thought the itinerary looked pretty similar to what we've been doing. Other than our chaperones, I don't know.
It's a pretty sketchy chaperone,
A little
but
shady, isn't it? So I'd probably load same for voting since.
Oh, okay.
make a motion that we approve the trip as presented.
So,
All right, we have motion support for the senior trip for 2024. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Hope you have a good time, Karen.
Should be.
I think it-
I think it'll be very fun.
Action item B is to reassign or make new assignments as far as school board committee assignments. I don't know what everyone's thoughts are, if they want to stay on the committee they're on, if they,
I think it's nice with continuity and keep people on committees for
okay,
a little time.
I'm good with it.
I'm good where I'm at, unless you see otherwise.
No, fine with me. What about down here? Matt's good, Ken? Good.
Motion to leave committees as is for 2024?
Do we get rid of the one
Can-
committee?
Can I make a comment? I wanted to comment on the, well, you can make the assignments to the committees, I'll make a comment. I want to make a comment on the committee functions and descriptions.
Oh.
But go ahead and, well, okay. Well, building and property committee, the part in there that bothers me is a financial reference there. I think the role of that committee is to obviously deal with building and grounds. I think the financial aspect and the use of finances diverts more to a budget or finance committee or to the executive committee. I don't see that as being a primary function of the building and grounds. That's my own comment.
I think we had that on there. I think it was their recommendation. I wonder if I could put recommendation in there to a different committee because I don't know if you guys remember the building and site committee, we allocated leftover donated money for the drive around the preschool and the playground. And that's kind of really the only monies that you guys really decided on.
Okay.
And the use of. It was left over from the donation, so.
And there is a new committee too that I guess has vacancies, huh?
Yeah, the policy committee also has vacancies.
Yeah. So do we want to fill that tonight? And then an item for discussion for a month and we can ponder on this?
We do have policies up. If we want to incorporate the policy committee for the recommendations for the next meeting, we could do that too, or we can go.
What's the job of the policy committee? I mean, obviously you do a policy, but.
So we'll review the policies to the board, like we do the first reading and second reading. We'll have the first reading, policy committee will meet, review, and they'll make the recommendation to the rest of the board. I'll be honest with you, sometimes it could be lengthy as far as the number of policies, and sometimes these policies all go with the change in legislation with the right to work. So we don't have much choice on this. But sometimes it can be lengthy.
If we're going to a point, I would be interested, I've got the time to do it, but if you wanna wait, that's fine too, I have no qualms.
I mean, it could be a committee of 2. Personally, I would like Matt to be on the committee, just because I know he reads everything and is pretty good. He caught something in my EOP today that I changed, so.
That'll teach me.
I don't wanna.
I think the reasoning for the committee is that, the formation of policy is primary responsibility of the board. And so it only makes sense to me to have a board, function in that, that's one of our major responsibilities as a board.
I'll make them fun. I'll have candy. And not that everyone else doesn't look at things and.
Correct.
I just thought of Matt today and I was like, oh,
Some
he
people
picked that
have
up.
things.
I missed that. I don't know how many times.
Yes.
I don't have that neck.
I don't get
What do you think, Matt?
I'm all for it.
Okay, all right.
Make a motion for Ken and Matt to be on the policy committee?
Or
It's hot day in that.
All right, we got,
pretty glamorous.
we got a motion and support for our policy committee consisting of Matt and Ken. Any discussion on this? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Thanks, Matt and Ken, for
Yes, thank you.
volunteering for that.
Sorry, Matt.
And then the committee, I was like, it's sinking fund, so we're gonna keep that, right, to just maybe continue to have conversations?
Yeah, meet
Okay,
periodically.
got it, perfect, that was the one I was wondering about.
On the sinking fund, you mean, yeah?
The sinking fund committee?
Because one of those members haven't met with us yet, she wasn't available, so.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that was still gonna maintain as a committee. at least
I would
for
like
now.
it too, yeah.
Okay.
Probably meet again in the spring once we have projects underway to talk about the follow-up next
Okay.
year. So, at least give an update on where we're at.
All right, flipping the page, action item C, approve PFM Group and Horizon Bank as depositories for school funds.
Motion.
Support.
Motion support for our local bank. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? D, approve membership in the following organizations: MASSP, MASA, MIEM, MASB, MEMPSA, and School Equity Caucus.
So moved.
Support.
Motion support for all of those abbreviations. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? E, approve retaining the auditing services of Baird, Cotter, and Bishop PC.
So moved.
Support.
Motion support for Baird, Cotter, and Bishop.
Did they change their name?
Yes, they did.
Yes, they did.
UHY.
UHY.
UHY. UH.
Formerly known as.
Formerly.
Formerly known as, correct.
So we have motion support for retaining auditing service of UHY. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? F, approve the regular meeting date and time of the board.
Seems to be good.
Yep.
Everybody
Motion.
good with the Monday and the 6 o'clock?
I'd like to make a comment on that, and I've talked to Scott about it. I feel, and this month's an example, I don't feel that there's sufficient lead time between when we get the packet and when we act. And if you got questions, it's hard, if you don't get it till Thursday night or Friday, and I'm not faulting them at all, it's just a tight time frame. And, if you got questions I don't want to bug them on Saturday and Sunday about it. I don't think that there's sufficient lead time, and I can say pretty confidently that most boards require a week's lead time for the board members to review and question or whatever. We don't need to change it tonight, I would like to put it into the hopper for discussion though. Not necessarily tonight, but I think it's something we need to evaluate as we go through the year. I don't think it's fair to him at times to have, I mean, he's busy too, you know, and we had a lot of questions today, you know, and it kind of unfairly interrupts his day. And I think we need more time for discussion and possible questions between that.
And I've talked with the principals about that too. And we tried to get them out to you Tuesday last month and then Wednesday this month because it ended up being Thursday because we returned from break. I don't think the meeting time affects that. I think that just has to be me putting out, hey, report time, let's have it in the week before. We just have to adjust our cycles and I don't know how that would affect the business office at all.
Some of the numbers, you may get estimates more than actuals, just because, like, for example, you know, this month, with the holidays, my lift's bank statements didn't come out until the 3rd of January.
This is really a
and I
tight
have to have
month.
time to do a bank rec.
I understand that.
And I like to make sure everything is, you know, as correct and accurate as I can as possible, but if you guys would be okay with, if I have to estimate, you know, something.
But I think most boards ask for a longer lead time after they get their packets. We can set this year, but I would like to have that discussion maybe later in the year or something.
Yeah. I don't think that affects the meeting times at all. I think that just affects my time of getting things and submitted in time, so.
But I don't know if this, I mean, because I don't do anything with Board Book, and I don't know if you've ever used Board Book. I don't know if that would be something that would be.
I've used it.
Something, you know, if things could be put in there as they come in, I don't know. So you can.
Yeah, let us work on that.
Yeah, I just want to have a discussion on it.
No,
But even the Google Docs, I mean, you can upload numerous things into Google Docs, so it might not be this perfect little PDF type of format, but you can upload numerous documents into Google Doc and it can be a folder for that meeting for that month. I never feel like there's any huge surprise in the board packet. I mean, I really don't. It's like usually we know you're pretty good at keeping us up to par.
Yeah, but let's see if we can improve and get more lead time.
All right.
Let's see if we can do it.
So, we do have a motion support.
One thing is, we did want to talk about the March meeting. If we wanted to reschedule that, and then Liz also pointed out the June meeting, if we wanted to put that later in the month.
So March
involved regionals. Girls regionals this year would be on the second Monday of the month. That's one of those things that the last 2 years we've changed because but we never know until we get to that point.
Correct.
So you do know this year, you said that we're set for the 11th. So that will be, that will be a conflict.
It could be if the girls win districts.
Oh, okay.
We don't know until, and then if you adjusted it, you would get into the boys tournament and then potentially boys and girls state. I mean, there's a trickle effect unless you went earlier.
Are you saying March 4 then?
You could do March 4th, unless that's a district game.
Correct.
And that's probably getting to the point where that is a district game. Can
Is
we
it
pull?
really that much of a problem to adjust on the fly?
We have to have so much notice of posting,
You have to have
correct?
you have to have a preceding meeting
Usually-
for.
Right.
No, like
18
the
hours.
Wednesday, Thursday before.
Are you gonna have 48 hours?
I don't remember the hours total. Is it 18?
Yeah, it
18
wasn't very
hours.
long.
So we'll have plenty of that.
Right, but I just
I
mean,
mean, it's,
if we're not in districts, then it's a moot point.
But the change has to be by resolution of the board. It's not a matter of just reposting. The board would have
We
to
have to
pass a
approve it.
resolution.
Oh, because of it's a
To
regular
change that.
meeting. Yeah.
So it's not quite that simple.
I think you could,
But we do it,
Well, you could approve it in
yeah.
February.
yeah, we could do it, yeah.
Can you prove, maybe?
I guess, look at the calendar, see there's a date that works.
Yeah.
Right now.
And I don't even think we've drawn for districts yet. So
So we don't know what's gonna happen.
why don't we revisit that in February, the March meeting?
Sounds good.
We want to schedule the June meeting.
Let's reschedule the June meeting.
We know what's going on there.
How about June 24th? Be the last Monday of the month.
Perfect.
That works for you,
Yes, that
Liz?
works for me, yes.
Okay,
Sorry. I'm glad I'm not, I'm still back on the rescheduling of the other one. I was gonna see if I could look that up.
All right, so
and
yeah,
see what
June
the-
24th?
Revisit
We'll revisit that in February, Liz.
March,
Yeah.
next month. But we will reschedule the June meeting
To the 24th.
for the 24th.
Okay,
I'll send invitations to everyone too.
okay.
The other 10 months, at this point, will be the same date and time. Everybody good with that?
Sure.
All right, we have motion support, date and time with March pending. June will be changed to the 24th. The other 10 months will be the second Monday at 6 PM. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. G, authorize the superintendent to make school fund investment decisions within approved depositories.
So moved.
Support.
Motion support for superintendent and his investment decisions. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. H, approve the superintendent as signer on all accounts.
Motion.
Support.
Motion support for superintendent to be the signer. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? I, approve that necessary expenses incurred while attending MASB related conferences or other school business activities will be reimbursed.
Motion.
Support.
Motion support for conferences to be reimbursed. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? J, approve the weight room proposal bid, $129,673 from Gerber Construction.
Motion.
Support.
Motion and support for Gerber Construction for the weight room bid. Any discussion on this, or any more discussion?
Can I just add that, remember, these are bid prices, they could, we're hoping go down, or they could increase too, like, these numbers could change, so just wanted to say that, we're hoping that they go down, but just wanted to make sure everyone was aware.
So these, when you say they could go up, I mean, there will be a contract, right?
Yes, but like contingency, depending on how they run into things.
But that does have a
Change
contingency in it, correct?
The weight room does not have a contingency in it. If you wanted a contingency, it'd be an additional 12,000 if we were looking at 10%. The weight room, then the track, that all has or not the weight room, sorry, the offices and the track have contingencies in it.
So, but I mean, these contingencies come in the form of a contract amendment, which we would have to agree to, correct? Some kind of
Change
process.
order.
A change order, that's what I was trying to think of, okay.
Okay, motion support for the weight room proposal from Gerber Construction. Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Okay, approve the high school office and middle school, elementary school entrance, secure entrance renovation proposal bid, $535,393 from Gerber Construction.
Motion.
Support.
Motion support for our our office renovations. Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? L, approve superintendent evaluation one-time off-schedule payment equal to 4% current salary.
Motion.
Support.
Motion support. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, M, approve earthwork and site utilities for the track to Pete's Contracting, including alternative 8, which is for the handicap ramp, for a total bid of $685,851.
So that total,
Does
that,
that change from?
that total in there,
Oh, that's with.
Oh,
that went out before the 22,000.
I was gonna ask about that.
Yep.
Cause, okay, so the right total is what,
685, 857.
Okay. 685, 657?
857.
857, okay. I'm just gonna make a comment. I'm kind of disappointed in the way Pete's Contracting has gone. I mean, I don't know the reasons, but, you know, for a contract to go up, a bid to change by $120,000 on a $500,000 bid, that's major. And I'm kind of disappointed how that, I don't know the background, I don't know what happened, and it doesn't really matter, but I'm disappointed that with that kind of bidding.
I think there was confusion on it, correct?
I don't know.
There was.
Scott, there was confusion,
Yeah,
correct?
correct. There was confusion, and I think there was confusion maybe on both parts. I think there was confusion. I will take some of the blame for it. I think.
Well, I'm not looking to place blame, I'm just saying that's.
Yeah, I would rather see this up front than now than later. So
This was still the lowest bid, if I'm not mistaken.
it was.
Yes.
Yes.
But not a big margin though, you know, yeah, I agree, I'm just saying that what was Chip's role in that?
There was roles by Chip, by the engineers, you know, and to be honest with you, I'm not sure if the other bids would have increased as well after our post-bid meeting, and
Yeah,
so the
that's the whole-
confusion was cleared up. The big thing is we hope that the track is done correctly. I do think that there is some cost savings that we can do as the project goes on. I think there's some things that we can change. We won't know until we start peeling back some of that track.
And this doesn't have contingencies in it.
This doesn't.
I was just disappointed in that process.
I would say I was disappointed too, and I wouldn't put that on Pete's Contracting. I would just put it on the overall process, to be honest with you. I asked today if that was a typical, I was told no, that it wasn't a typical bid that what we're dealing with. And I hope not going forward, because we have a lot of projects and I don't want to experience that again.
Right.
But, you know, he's an experienced contractor, you know.
And I think that I know that he'll do good work with it.
I do too.
I know that he takes pride in his work and his name will be attached to it.
Yeah.
It's not
Agreed.
like many tracks going every day.
All right, I believe we have a motion and support for Pete's Contracting. Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Moving on to N, approve pyramid paving for asphalt paving bid for $289,600.
Motion.
Support?
Motion support for the paving. Any discussion on this one? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, that passes. O, approve AG Sports Services for track surface and markings for $117,800.
So moved.
Support.
Motion support for AG Sports Services. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, that passes. We want to put R next and then go into closed session?
We can do that.
All right, why don't we jump ahead here a little bit to action item R, approve Hamburg fencing for the fence around the track. Scott handed out a couple proposals, which I think we've all seen already. quite a difference in the two. Scott and myself, and I think most everybody here is pretty comfortable with Hamburg, local guy, and been doing it a long time, knows what he's doing. I don't think he's missing anything.
The only thing I question is the removable fencing is.
I was gonna ask about that, that's $26,000 that he doesn't have on here.
Yep, so that was one thing that I missed, in the bid process with going out separately. I did talk to Mike today. He did give me he'll send over the estimate tomorrow, but for the fencing, it'd be about $4,000. We'll have to work with Pete's on removing the ones that are buried in the concrete up by the bleachers.
$4,000?
Yeah, that's what he gave me. He said he'd email it over to me tomorrow.
And the other people voted 26,000. Wow.
Rumor has it that fencing companies are getting fewer and further between, so I think there's some.
I think Hamburg has a good reputation as far as I know.
He has done all of our work here.
All right, did we get approval or motion and support on this, or are we still waiting for that?
I'll make the motion to approve.
Okay,
Support.
all right, we have a motion and support to approve Hamburg fencing to do the fencing around our track.
So are we, how much are we approving? Are we approving the 52.6 plus the removal, or?
You can do the 52.6, then we can do the removal at the next meeting. Really, the removal of 4,000 doesn't need board approval. That's just something I can approve.
Okay.
Or you can add it to this, it's up to you.
Let's approve the 52.6 tonight.
Isn't it actually 54? Because you have to add on the galvanized for the shot put?
Oh, yeah.
Is that
55,035.
55?
Okay, so we're approving 55,000 for Hamburg fencing to do the fencing.
And then we're still just waiting on irrigation. We received 2 bids, but I have not really looked at them yet. I think one came in today shortly before the meeting, so.
All right, we have motion support for Hamburg. Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. All right, now we're gonna backtrack to action item P. Go into closed session for discussion on school security.
Motion.
Motion and support. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We're back out at 6:54.
Okay.
All right,
You want to open that door real quick, Becky? We
Yeah,
just have to
sure.
Make sure that people know it's still open. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
okay, now we're back into open session. We need to approve emergency operating procedure plan.
Motion?
Motion support. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes. Very good. Moving on to public comment. Seeing nobody, I think we can move on and go to board roundtable.
I'm excited. We're moving forward.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Things are happening, not exactly the way we wanted them to, but they're happening.
I'm excited too. I'm excited for the kids and the community.
Yeah, sure.
Yep.
You're gonna make it through, right?
We're gonna make it. We're gonna make it.
Yeah, we're gonna have to stop and check on Scott every now and then. Make sure he's-
No.
Would it be fair to say then that the high school office, the middle school, that could come in lower too?
It could.
I feel like that was really high.
It
I don't know why,
I've
I just
already
felt like it
felt
was really high.
It potentially could.
Okay.
One thing is, we had to add the HVAC to the high school office area, because it just had a classroom heater to heat the separate offices and
Okay.
stuff, so.
Okay.
But yeah, everything's coming in,
Hi.
yeah.
Agreed.
But we're moving forward.
Moving forward.
Do you wanna give us a ballpark on your irrigation, or you're not ready to tell me that?
Yeah, I'm not ready yet.
Will you tell us shortly?
Maybe by the end of the day tomorrow. How about
Okay,
that?
that sounds good, I can handle that. I make
I
a,
haven't even looked at one of them, so I really don't know. So.
you peeped, come on,
I didn't,
Scott.
it's sealed. I did it.
Yes, you did.
I'll show you afterwards, it's still sealed. When you keep getting this bad news, you don't want to open this stuff.
I understand.
Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So
Becky did.
Yes, I made a motion to adjourn.
Okay,
I-
I can support it. All
Sounds
those in
great.
favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you. Now I can go look at.
Thank you, everyone.
Game.